another unique aspect of the Northwest Pacific tribes and the Haida people was the Potlatch ceremony, a feast given to celebrate, well, just about any occasion. Now, the Potlatch is a ceremony in which extravagant gifts like blankets, weapons, cedar chests, and furs were distributed with the greatest ostentation possible. The Potlatch ceremony was, in fact, a type of contest between rival clan chiefs, with the gift giver affirming his leadership as well as the right of succession for his heir. The competition would begin as a chief called in his rivals in order to display to them his massive wealth, and then perhaps to even destroy these riches in one magnificent gesture. A chief's entire lifetime's accumulation of wealth was then given away or thrown into the flames and destroyed. The chief's only consolation was the fact that his rival would have to reciprocate with an even greater show of gift-giving or gift destruction. At these potlatch ceremonies, precious oil was thrown into the fire, and guests were often singed by the flames. It was an intense fire, folks. Now, sometimes an opulent chief would even kill a valuable slave with a special club. And sometimes copper plates, which were considered money, was broken up into pieces and thrown into the flames. Now, this gift-giving and destruction was carried out with immense formality, and entire clans and their chiefs were humiliated. They would lose face as a result of these contests, with rival clan leaders singing songs of insult to each other. The Haida concept of wealth and property extended to intangibles, not just material goods and captured slaves. For example, society membership, professions, as well as the ownership of certain sacred songs and dances were handed down from one generation to another and considered very, very valuable. The rich Haida culture was aggressive to Europeans, but did engage in regular trade with the Spanish, Russian, British, as well as American fur traders and whalers. The introduction of smallpox in the mid-19th century opens the doorway to colonial power and significantly reduced the sovereignty of the Haida people. Many Haida villages were depopulated, as 9 out of 10 died from the ravages of the disease. Christian missionaries then descended upon the surviving villagers. They descend on them like vultures, and the Haida become Christianized. The missionaries considered the totem poles graven images, and many of the totems were either sent to museums or sadly destroyed. With colonialism and Christianization, totem pole carving, this amazing art, degenerated into a listless art form, and the destructive features of the potlatch ceremony were outlawed by the Europeans. By the early 20th century, many Haida children were forced to assimilate and were virtually kidnapped and sent to European and Canadian families. This, of course, seriously